Sydney is the 4-H program assistant and volunteer coordinator, and Dalton is our livestock extension agent. And you both are stepping in today as Dr. Cunningham had a family emergency and can't be here. So I really appreciate that you all are stepping up and helping us.
Good morning. Good morning. So yeah, me and Sydney today are from Cooperative Extension. We're just down the hall here adjacent. And so like she said, I'm the livestock agent here in the county, and she's our 4-H program assistant and also our volunteer coordinator. So I just want to talk to you a little bit today about the state of agriculture here in Chatham County. And I'm going to hand it off to Sydney to kind of speak to a little bit more background of Cooperative Extension and what that is and what that means.
So just to give you an idea of what Cooperative Extension does, so we are, Extension as a whole is a nationwide service that is a partnership between the federal government, so the USDA and NIFA, the state government through land-grant universities. So each state has at least 2 land-grant universities that is doing cutting-edge research on agriculture and engineering within your state to serve directly to the community, and that's where Extension comes in because we're considered field agents, and so we are on the ground working with community members and sharing the research that's coming from the universities and coming from the federal government. And likewise, we're sharing back with state and federal entities of what the community wants to see and how we can best serve them. So here in Chatham County, we are one center, but we serve together from the state, and we are one of 101 centers, so we have 100 counties and then the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, and so we are here to give that research-based information directly to the community, whether it be through livestock, horticulture, 4-H and youth development, and so on.
So yeah, I want to talk a little bit about what ag looks like here in Chatham County and the critical role that it plays. So if you just take a look at that big yellow price tag in the top of the screen here, you can see that collectively agriculture has about over $776 million that comes into our economy here. And a significant portion of that that's coming here into the county as annual income. We can kind of break that up in kind of 2 subcategories. So 338 million of those cash receipts is actually going to be the goods and commodities that are produced on the farm. And then the other portion of that is forestry. So $438 million of that is actually the forestry or lumber produced. So going back to the farming sector, the agriculture commodities that's being produced on these farms, it makes up about a little over 1,000 individual farms, or technically small businesses, and 95% of those farms are actually family farms. And a third of those producers that work on these farms are actually female. So within the rankings for Chatham County specifically, so as Cindy said, we're talking about 101 counties, including the Eastern Band of Cherokee. So kind of put that in perspective as to where we rank in the state of North Carolina and the significance that our agriculture economy plays. So we actually rank number 1 in beef cattle production. We rank 3rd in the state for sheep and goat production. We rank 7th in dairy, 9th in hay production, and then for our poultry industry, it's a big industry, so the fact that we rank within the top 20 is really relevant. So we're 11th in layer production and 14th in broiler production, and steadily rising. And last but not least, we are actually the top county that produces that has the most native plant nurseries. And then as far as our forestry sector goes, which is lumped in with our agriculture commodities, we have about 1,400 jobs that are produced through our forestry sector, and with a payroll of about 75 million. And then the acres that we have in private timberland is just right at 250,000. Okay, so I just talked about how relevant agriculture is or that sector is for our local economy. So I want to talk to you a little bit about combating the irreversible loss of a finite resource. So we know that they're not making any more land, and so North Carolina ranks 2nd in the nation for potential agricultural land loss by 2040. So if you take a look at that chart on the top left there, Basically, that's the chart for present use value unenrollment, basically. So that's the folks that are enrolled in that land are producing some type of agriculture, commodity, or good. As you can see, that upward trend of folks that are pulling out of that program, which means that land's being pulled from agriculture, and it's kind of an irreversible, permanent thing. So once that land's been developed, it's no longer productive for agriculture. So North Carolina is projected as a whole to lose about 1.1 million acres of farmland within the next 20 years. So this equates to a little over 9,000 farms and almost 20,000 jobs, which equates to about $1.25 billion in farm output that will be lost. So in Chatham, if we keep going at our usual rate or business as usual, we're expected to lose about 15,000 acres, and this model also doesn't reflect, it's using data back from 2017, so it'd be interesting to see, since our previous development, what those numbers look like. But now I'm going to pass it over to Sydney here to talk about the benefits we have for preserving our agricultural land.
So it is no secret that ag plays beneficial roles in our community and our daily lives beyond eating 3 times a day, which I hope you all enjoy as much as I do. We have some different reasons why we also need ag, right? So it brings a diverse economy and workforce, it's preserving rural and character and lifestyle. We should be supporting local food production, supply, and access. It leaves us open green space as well as preserving some of those natural resources that we're losing so quickly. It builds wildlife habitat and corridors, carbon sequestration, which is big right now, and climate change, and then it's building resiliency not only in an economic standpoint, but in other factors. And lastly, it lowers the cost of community services and utilities infrastructure, which I'm going to give you some more information on that. So back in 2023, an update of the Chatham Farmland Protection Plan, as well as the Cost of Community Services Plan, was initiated, and so that basically tells us a snapshot of where the county is getting their money and how they're spending it in 3 main sectors, those being industry or commercial development, residential, and then ag and working lands. And the big thing to take away from this is that industry and ag were the only sectors that were actually bringing in money and not costing the county anything. And so commercial development does come on top, but agriculture does not come far behind, and it's only about an 8 cents difference of how agriculture is bringing in money, and it's not costing the county anything to preserve ag land and to keep farmland going.
So we just talked about how important ag is in the ag sector for our local economy. So I want to talk about what are we doing to preserve that land. So hopefully we realize that these farms here in our county are what's putting food on our table. They're also producing the lumber that builds our small businesses and residential homes. So here in Chatham County, in 2022, they put into effect the Chatham County Agriculture Preservation and Development Trust Fund. And so through that, the county was able to hire a farmland preservation coordinator, Andrew Waters. So that was back in 2023. So we're really grateful to have him. This fund is supported through Article 46 tax revenue, and then also the present use value, the rollback funding from that. And so through this trust fund, we've been able to preserve almost 7,000 acres through conservation easements and a little over 19,000 acres that are enrolled in our voluntary agriculture district program. And basically the goal here is just to preserve our working lands that are actively working, and also make sure that those farmers are being able to stay in business and continue to contribute to our economy, our local economy. So how can you help? So we just wanted to encourage you to be mindful of your local and state and federal legislation, so get involved. We encourage you to take part in an ag literacy event. So that's what we're here for in Cooperative Extension. I'm sure you guys are experts in your fields of business. And so we're in the realm of agriculture day in and day out and working with those producers. And so part of our job is hosting these events like Ag Fest or different workshops, whether it's horticulture, livestock, you name it, these specialty areas. So we encourage you to come out and reach out to us and get involved in some of our events and learn a little bit more about agriculture. You also show us some love, so consider volunteering. So we've got our 4-H youth program, our horticulture program through Extension Master Gardener volunteers. If you like cooking, we've got the Family and Consumer Science division for volunteering through that. So no matter what your area you're interested in, we've got a place for you here and volunteer, and you can come see Sydney, our volunteer coordinator. She'd be happy to link you up with some opportunities. So last but not least, we encourage you to support your local Chatham County farmers and buy local. And so with that, we just want to leave you with our QR code on the screen there that you can scan and be directed to our website, but all of our contact information is on there. So we encourage you, if you have a farm or if you're just a resident of the county, to reach out to us. We're here as a free resource to you. We're just over here on the adjacent hall, so come see us, come say hi, and we'd love to help you guys out. So thank you.